Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sea.
Hi, welcome to Be My Guest. This is Jan Lewis, your host. Today we have from Uxbridge, author Rachel Odell Howe, and she is the author of Ripple. Get a load of this cover. Did you design that yourself?
I actually had some help with that, with the image.
Can you explain to us the cover first? Then we'll get into the story. This is great.
Well, I don't want to give too much away because I think yeah. So the story takes place centers around a woman.
Yeah.
And there's 5 other main characters, and that's kind of the shadow effect. But
Now, from what I was reading, this is pretty interesting. Do you know anybody who had all this accidents? Like, so you pulled on. Tell the viewers briefly what this is about.
So the story is basically about a woman who is an elite triathlete. And she is preparing for her last big race, and she's kind of slated to win the whole thing, and that's why she's doing this race. And she gets called back home to Boston, which is where she grew up, to help take care of her ailing father. While she's in Boston, an impending ice storm is coming in, and she realizes she needs to get out as quickly as she can to get back to Boulder, where she lives, in order to make the race. And on the way to the airport, she gets in a horrible head-on collision.
Yeah.
And from that moment of impact, the story starts to jump back and forth between the events that take place over the course of that day to try to save her life, and flashbacks of people that have been in her life through her actually saving their lives in different ways and in different circumstances. And the reader will see that there's connections between everything.
What made you want to write this?
Yeah. So
the background?
Yeah, so the truth of it is the idea came to me one day and it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I could see the entire thing play out. It was crazy. Nothing like that has ever happened to me.
It's very realistic.
Did you read the entire thing?
I've gotten 3/4 of the way through.
Yeah.
Just don't give me the ending.
And I don't want to give the ending. There's a twist.
What hit me is it's so real. I mean, with everything going on in our world now, with the Olympics and all this, all I could do is picture in my mind all these things happening, on the way into Boston, the tractor trailer.
Sure.
You pulled on a lot, and you said you did know of some people who had problems like this? Problems is the...
No. I think what some of the savior stories, actually, one of them actually happened to me, and I wrote that in. And then the other ones were things that I either have heard of happening or pulled on stories that I've heard and just elaborated.
That's great. Now, how long did it take you to write this?
So the idea came to me actually 2 years ago this month.
Yeah.
And like I said, it hit me so strongly, I had to write it down. So I remember going home and I just started writing as much as I could, just freehand, all these ideas and the connections. And I remember walking out and saying to my husband, "I'm going to write a book." And he looked at me and said, "You are? Are you crazy?" And I said, "No, I have this idea, and it's coming to me so strongly that I need to get it out."
Ripple.
So,
I mean, it's perfect because it's like a ripple effect through the whole thing. All the 5 people that were involved.
Yes.
That includes her, or was
no?
That
5
she's
additional
the
people.
6, 5 additional people. And the way you did it with the shadows of the people underneath the words. Now, you did this through your own self-publishing.
I did.
That's the way to go. I recommend to my authors, do it. Don't wait around for a couple of years to be,
Well, that's the thing. And I did look into the traditional publishing, but the more I dug into it, the more research I did, you kind of find out that publishers aren't going to take you on unless they know they can make money with the book. And unless you're very well known for either writing or some other source of fame or notoriety, they're not going to really take a risk. So I said, you know what, I'm doing this because it. Yeah.
Well, they also the publishing company will also, the regular big publishers will take away, you cannot design your cover. Forget it. So that's a big one, I think, because the cover on any book gets me first. The cover, what it looks like, does it look mysterious? Does it look like ripple? It tells the effect. Another thing, too, is that they're not going to be your publicists. They're not going to help you get scheduled places. You're on your own.
Really, even through traditional
You
publishing.
are on your own. And so I never could get it. I don't think I would want to wait a couple of years to be told no. Meanwhile, my book is sitting there, and it's great, and I could get it out to people. Oh, definitely. So you just appeared at Uxbridge Library.
Yes.
How did it go?
It did. It went really well. Yeah. Yep. I had. They said it was one of the better showings that they've had, and I had some friends come and support it, and it was nice. I got to read a chapter and did some book signings. So
There's a lot of other places I can tell you about.
Sure,
And you are going to love it.
Really? Okay.
Oh, now this can't be your first book. You're too
It is.
good.
It's
no,
my
no,
first
I mean,
book.
it can't be the end all be all. You're going to keep going.
I see what you're saying. I do have an idea for the next book.
Can you let us in?
You know what? I'm not going to give too much away. I would only say that it's a little bit darker.
Darker?
It's a little bit darker than this. And, this story is more inspirational. I'm hoping that people walk away with a feeling of hope.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah.
You love to.
Yes.
There's a beautiful picture of her on the back. Not everybody takes a great picture, but you
Actually,
sure do.
I'm very lucky. One of my good friends, Pam Poor, is a photographer and web designer, and she helped me with that.
All right, you're very athletic, obviously,
Yes,
because it says...
that's my business.
All right, you do snowboarding,
I do.
mountain biking,
Yep.
with the fat tires, right?
Yeah.
I love those. Travel,
Yeah.
and you
love to
check
travel.
things off your bucket list.
Sure,
Let me see, you have 3 children.
I do.
How old are they?
So they're all teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah. My oldest just started college this year,
Yeah?
and my daughter is a junior right at BBT,
Uh-huh.
and my youngest will be a freshman in high school next year.
Okay.
So yeah, my hands are full. And I also run my own business. I run a fitness business as well.
Which is that?
It's called Momentum Fitness.
Yeah.
And I run it out of Uxbridge.
It's in Uxbridge?
Yeah.
Oh, I hadn't heard about this.
Yeah.
Where is it in Uxbridge?
So the classes, I run boot camp classes and
Oh.
other fitness classes. When we run it right at the community house in Uxbridge.
Community house. Is that the senior center?
No, the community house is right off the town common. One of the churches owns the building.
Okay. Didn't
Yeah.
that used to be a congregational church?
Yes, that's it. That's
And
right.
it is no
The
more. It's a community home now, right?
The community house is the building that the class
That's
is
a
on.
great location.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Well, you can't miss that.
No.
Where have I been? I don't get down to Uxbridge that often, but
Yeah.
I know your library they're trying to go bigger, aren't they?
I'm not sure.
They've
They've
had some
done a lot of
changes.
improvements internally, and
Yeah.
it's such a gorgeous building.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
I'm
shouldn't
over there
lose
quite a
that.
bit.
Yeah, they can't lose that. Now, you went to Bryant University in Rhode Island.
I did.
I lived in Rhode Island. What town is it in?
So they're in North Smithfield.
In North Smithfield. Did
Yeah.
you major in literature?
I majored in marketing,
Oh.
which ended up,
Yeah.
it helped with my business,
Yeah.
and then, it is helping me a little bit with this, although this is a completely new kind of genre for me and kind of new field, but I'm, trying to figure it out as we go.
Let me read the back for our viewers.
Okay.
Ripple. We're talking with the author, Rachel, I'm going to say that right, Rachel Odell Howe. And she's the author of Ripple. And on the back it describes the story. She knows it's her destiny to survive, but what if destiny isn't enough? Jillian Richards is an elite triathlete. Boy, try that one. I couldn't even be the first part of it. Is just days away from realizing her life dream, winning gold, when the moment of impact comes. Racing to the airport on an icy Boston freeway. Boy, have we all...
Oh, we've been there
I like
lots of
that
times,
one.
right?
Which one? Do you think 128?
I think 95.
Yeah, that's probably it. She spins out of control, smashing headfirst into a jackknifed tractor trailer. Now pinned inside with critical injuries and only moments to spare, her survival will depend on 5 seemingly unconnected strangers, each with a harrowing story of their own. When you came up with this idea, I've never had a book like it. I've seen a lot, and I've never seen one where it actually tied in so many people. It was almost like I don't want to say spiritual experience for this girl, but what do you think?
Yeah, so that is kind of one point of view on this, although that wasn't my intention, but I can definitely see how that could be read into it.
Yeah.
And when you get to the end, maybe you'll see
When I get to the end.
how there is a twist. But I personally believe that people are connected in many ways that they're not even aware of.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I also believe that actually the seed of this book came from the idea of kindness and random kindness. And I believe that, when you are a kind person and you do kind things and you put that energy out there, that it comes back to you in ways. And you just have to be open to what those ways might be.
I've noticed on the news that very often they'll say, well, so-and-so ran in, and they'll show you the person that ran in. Like, it seems like every night somebody's gone over into the drink, or somebody's being rescued from something. And just like in this book, completely strangers are going in to help. Has that happened to you in your life?
Let me think about that for a second. I don't know that I've been maybe saved by random strangers, but I've tried to do that in situations.
Yeah.
There's a storyline in the book where Jillian saves an older woman from choking. You read that part? And that story is actually did happen to me.
Did-
Not the exact story. I took an experience that happened to me and made it into that story.
Were
But
you joking, or you the
no,
rescuer?
no, I was at the movie theater with
Yeah.
my kids, and I walked into the ladies' room and I saw a woman standing there, and she was obviously in some distress.
Yeah.
And so when I realized what was happening,
You
I
got-
actually gave her the Heimlich, and
And it worked.
it worked. And
Oh.
it worked. And
Was
so
she all alone in there?
she was all alone. And so the first thing I said to her after I made sure she was okay is, if you're ever choking, like, don't go out and find people. And,
Yeah.
and she just said, I was so embarrassed.
Oh, God, no.
I know. And I
How
think
did
that's an
that-
instinct
Yeah.
for people to have that. But
And you know
Um,
enough to give the Heimlich maneuver
Yeah.
to her. Some people don't realize what that is. It just happened naturally for you to do that.
yeah.
Wow, what a
Yeah.
cool thing. Did anything else in here similar to your
No, everything else was pretty much fiction. Although one very, very cool experience happened from this book. And it goes along with the philosophy of putting energy and things out into the universe. Sometimes
Yeah.
you get answers back in ways that you're not even anticipating. And
Mhm.
so I'd written the book,
Yeah.
and as you read, you'll realize that some of the sections really needed some research done,
mhm.
because I get into some medical situations and I get into other things. But one of the storylines has to do with the helicopter pilot. Have you read that part?
Yep.
Okay. So after I completed the book, to the first draft, I started to share with friends, that I was writing this book, and
Yeah.
people were like, "What are you talking about? You're writing a book?" Because that's really not what I do. But
Yeah.
one of the girls that I shared it with said, "Oh, did you know that my husband is the mechanic for Life Flight in Connecticut?"
Oh, I thought you were going to say for UMass.
No, Life Flight helicopters in Connecticut.
Okay, because we have it right at
Or
UMass.
Lifestar, I think they're called in
Okay,
Connecticut.
Okay, we have Life Flight over at UMass. Okay.
And so I could not believe that coincidence. I
Yeah.
said, "You're got to be kidding me." So I
so
asked
your
her.
wheels are turning.
So my wheels are turning. So I said, "There's a couple parts that have to do with something that happens to the helicopter." So he's the mechanic.
Yeah.
So I said, "Do you think he would just read a couple paragraphs for me,
Yeah.
just for our authenticity?" And she said, "Sure, just come on over and chat with him." So I went over and we chatted for a little bit, and he said, "Just send me an email with whatever you want me to check, and I'll check it out." So the next day I opened my email, and there was an email from him, and I read the email, and it said, "Let me know your schedule.
Yeah.
I've arranged for a fly along."
You didn't. You went into it.
So I had chills all over my body, and I screamed to my husband, "Dave, come here, you have to see this." And he looked at it and he goes, "You're not going to do that, are you?" And I go, "Heck yes, I'm doing
You
this."
did it?
So the next week,
Yeah.
I drove down to Connecticut with him, and
Did he go in with did your husband? Go in the car?
no, I just went with my friend's husband, and
in the
I-
front seat, like.
Well, no, so I got to meet the pilot, and I got to meet the EMT,
Yeah.
and the nurse, and they
Where
were
were you sitting though? Were you in the
No,
back?
no. So this was just meeting them at
Yeah.
where they work, and then it was actually really overcast that day, so I didn't think I was going to be able to fly. As the day went on, the sun came out, and we got a call, and I actually got to fly. So I sat in the helicopter with the respiratory therapist and the in the EMT, and got to sit there and experience a real life call.
And,
Where-
and your friend's husband is he's the pilot,
well, he was the mechanic.
the mechanic.
So he
Okay,
wasn't on the flight.
on it
He
with
wasn't
you.
on the flight, but he arranged for me to have this opportunity. And because of it, I went back and rewrote that chapter
Yeah.
so that it's authentic. It's based on what actually happens in those situations from the professionals who do it.
How did you feel? They actually went to rescue somebody, right?
Yeah.
Did you watch them actually work with a person?
Yes, it was amazing. It was incredible. I mean, luckily the person was stabilized and doing fine.
Those copters boogie. I
Oh,
know
yeah.
at night I see. You can always tell like Life Flight from Worcester because Life Flight because it's not your typical ABC News.
Yeah.
Or it's not the Army. It's got the bup, 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 little red light in the back of it.
Yeah.
It's really going fast.
Yeah, they have some place to be.
And I usually can tell when they're heading for 146. They're going right over our house,
Yeah.
right over to 146. But they're everywhere. That must have been, so that gave you a fantastic, that's why.
It was unbelievable. I was so grateful. I said to him after the fact, I said, what are the chances that someone like me, who doesn't have a medical background, who's not a published author, would even get that opportunity?
Yeah.
And he said, pretty much 1 in a million.
I could see another story coming because
Yeah.
of your experience. How do people get a hold of your book? Give them
So Ripple is available on Amazon. Actually, you can just type in Ripple. I think it's the second thing on the search bar. You can also search by my name, which is Rachel Odell Howe. You can go to my website, which is rachelodellhowe.com. or
They
through
could come
Facebook
downstairs.
too. Or Facebook. I have a Facebook site, Rachel Odell Howe Author, as
Yeah.
well. So there's lots of ways.
RACHELODELLHOWE. That's her full name. And also there'll be a copy downstairs. There already is one
Yes.
over at the Upton Library. You can come right down there and borrow a copy if you'd like to. So when did you start becoming so athletic? How old
So
were you, a kid?
so I played sports growing up,
Yeah.
mostly soccer. I stayed with soccer through college. I played at Bryant.
Yeah.
I was the captain there of the women's soccer team,
God.
and
How different we
Yeah.
are. I was doing art. Okay.
yeah, that's okay though. I loved it, and then I played indoor soccer as an adult when I moved up to this area. But then I really got into the athletic, being a trainer about 10 years ago. I left my corporate job and went back to school and got a degree in personal training and nutrition, and really did, because that's really where my passion was.
That's it, yeah.
And so for the past 10 years, I've been running my boot camps out of Uxbridge and
Yeah.
other surrounding towns. I actually ran one right at the Upton Town Hall last year.
You did?
With all those folks over there.
So
Yeah.
you've been doing this for 10 years?
10 years. Yep, 10 years.
You started like, what were you, 10?
No, I'm actually 47 now, so I started like at 37. I had my
Yeah.
early midlife crisis and said,
And then you've got 3 teenagers at
Yeah.
home. Oh my.
yeah,
So you find the time to write.
Yes.
And then you're running your business.
yeah.
Tell me more about the what's it called again, your business?
It's Momentum Fitness.
Momentum Fitness, and what are the hours?
So luckily, most of my classes are in the evening. So I have classes on Monday and Wednesday nights at 7:15,
Yeah.
and Saturday mornings at 8,
Oh,
and that works really well. Yeah, it works really well.
Oh.
I have a great core group of people who
Yeah.
come, and people who've been really dedicated. And
Yeah.
you know, my whole passion is empowering women
Yeah.
on how to strength train and how that just creates so many health
What do you
benefits.
do when
and-
somebody comes to you? The reason we're talking about this is because it's so tied in with her book Ripple.
Mm.
This girl was, well,
She's a
a
triathlete.
triathlete, and obviously with her background, you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
What do you do with somebody who comes to your Momentum fitness place? Somebody who's like, I'm suffering like from tendonitis on
Mm.
this side, and I can't do a whole lot right now. What do you do with people like me?
Yeah, well, if it's an issue, if it's like a medical type issue, I would actually recommend that you would go see your doctor, maybe physical therapy.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
But people who come in and are deconditioned or who haven't been used to the weight training and things like that, we start off slowly. So I make sure that your form and your technique is correct.
Mm-hmm.
We start off with lower weights, and then we progress as you progress.
Did you do physical therapy classes? Did you have to learn that? too?
No, I didn't have to do that.
You didn't have to do
No.
that. What a fun time!
Yeah.
You've got the book. You've got the Momentum. Now, where are you appearing next?
I'm not sure yet. We're gonna reach out and make some new connections.
Oh,
but yeah,
definitely. Yeah,
I mean, the book just came out 4 weeks ago.
This appeals
So-
to all ages. You've hit,
Yeah.
you know, this would
Thank
appeal
you.
the teens, gosh, everybody in between, seniors, everybody, because I think so many people, unlike myself, are very, very athletic.
Mm.
Maybe not so much the girls, I don't know, but I think what it is inspiring, with probably what you would hope for, that it would be very, as you said, hope. Inspiring, right?
Yes. I hope
Yeah.
that people read it and walk away. I think they'll be surprised by the ending, but I hope it gives them a sense of
Yeah,
hope.
well, don't tell me.
I'm not going to tell you.
Don't tell
I'm
me.
not going to tell you.
Now, the next one coming up
Hmm.
is going to be more, you said dark.
A little bit darker.
I can't picture you writing anything dark.
It just, again, I had this idea that came to me, and it's sitting with me, so I feel like I need to explore it some more.
When do you find time to write? Like later when
Yeah,
you're
so
dead?
my classes are usually in the evenings,
Yeah.
and so I have some time during the days if I'm not working with personal clients or
Mhm.
other aspects of my business. I would find hours here and there.
You find them.
Yeah.
You know, before we forget, Paul, can you zero in on her? Did you design your gorgeous poster?
I'm so lucky. I have very talented, creative friends.
Yeah,
So
I would-
another friend of mine does graphic design, and she created that for me, and some
It's
other
almost like the
marketing
color I have on today.
things.
It's blue,
It's a
but-
beautiful blue.
And that's as I said, that's a gorgeous picture of you. Not all authors are as fortunate. And, you know, they'll come here and they'll come in the door, and I'll think, is that the same person? Because they're better looking in person
Mm.
than they were. But boy, they nailed it. with her.
Oh,
And
I'll
then
have
she's
to
got
let
it
my
right
friend
here
know.
in her poster. Actually, they took the cover of Ripple
Yes,
and they blew it up for you.
yes, yeah.
You know, I know Staples does that. Do they still do that?
I'm sure they do. My friend had some connections.
Yeah,
So
they still do. Yeah, because I love the way that comes out. You can take it everywhere, and then you put
Yeah.
it in that. You know the bubble wrap that you put it in, do you ever get that feeling that you just want to go,
Yeah, my kids would. I have to keep it away from them.
it's a stress release.
Yeah, it's true.
So do you do your exercising for stress release? What do you do?
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely one of the huge benefits. But I think it gives people more energy.
Mhm.
It helps you think more clearly, and there's just a myriad of health benefits as far as lowering your blood pressure and all kinds of things like that. But
I can see why
Yeah.
you would have had to bone up on a lot of the medical things because
Yes.
of what's in the book.
yes.
You got to be careful what you write. I
did
can't
a
get it out
lot
of my
of
mind that you
research.
went up in the helicopter.
Yeah, I know. It's the coolest
Oh,
thing.
I'm so
There was
sure.
one moment when we had dropped the patient off in Hartford and we were flying back, and I literally was looking out the window at the Connecticut River, and I had to pinch myself because I couldn't. But it didn't feel real.
You didn't feel funny at all. You didn't get sick.
It is a weird feeling. It is a weird feeling, but I just tried to be in the moment.
You didn't like. I know my father took my mother up in an open cockpit
Oh, yeah, that'd
up
be
in New
more
Hampshire.
scary.
Yeah,
that'd be a
he
little
caught her
scary.
into that. But he
Yeah.
also caught her into getting one of those. What do you call it? The thing that lets go of you. The plane, the glider.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh wow, that's brave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she didn't want any part of it.
Yeah.
But he got her up into the open cockpit. Yours was definitely not an open cockpit.
No, it definitely was not.
Does an ambulance flight like a life flight have a? I'd never heard a siren.
No siren.
It's just boop, 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 boop.
Yep.
Do you see the light in your side when you're?
No, I didn't see the light from where I was. You were in a very small cabin space.
And do you feel it boogie?
Oh yeah, you can tell you're moving.
How
for
fast do
sure.
you think you were going?
I have no idea.
I bet your kids are
Couple hundred miles.
fascinated
Yeah.
by this.
They thought it was pretty cool.
Did you get pictures?
I
you-
did. Yeah. I put them up on my website or my Facebook.
Oh,
When
you'll
it
never forget
happened,
this.
yeah.
You will never.
Yeah.
You know, with your luck, with the next book,
Yeah.
put the word out. Ask somebody. Gee, do you know about? Next thing you know, you're
Yeah.
going to be invited. Watch somebody invite you into an OR.
I'll have to write something really cool. Well, there is a whole. Have you gotten to the brain to the neurosurgery part yet? Okay. Well, I'm not going to give that away.
No,
but
don't tell me.
Yeah. No. There's some things I might not want to see in
No.
person.
So you've always been rather athletic, right?
Mhm, yeah.
So writing this book was, they say, write what we know.
Mm.
So this was a no-brainer for you.
The parts that have to do with her training for the race felt very kind of easy to write because I've trained for things before. I've never done a triathlon per se, but I've trained for events and things like
What,
that.
for people who don't
Yeah.
know, what is a triathlon?
So a triathlon is a race where you swim and then you bike and then you run. So it's 3 legs, 3 different parts of the race.
how
and-
many minutes per?
Yeah, so they have different levels of triathlons.
So somebody's
Yeah.
got to be at one end. Let's say if you've biked down the road, whatever. Somebody's got to wait at the other end for you with your bathing suit. Or you just chuck your
No,
clothes?
you change. Yeah, people wear kind of the same thing, and you can either do a quick change, and so you have stations set up at each site, transition site, and then that's where you make the change.
You haven't done it yet.
No, I haven't done a triathlon because I don't love to swim. But I love to bike, and I used to run. So
So you do the mountain bike.
yeah, I love mountain
Okay,
biking.
so that's the one with those really cool tires.
Yeah.
Like what the kids love, right?
Yeah.
Well, I have a bike. Gosh, I don't ride it. I forget, but it goes back to at least when I was growing up. Remember the Schwinn ones when you don't have the gears?
Yeah, sure.
That's real popular right now.
Yeah.
You do it on your own.
Yeah.
I like it when the bars come up.
Yeah,
What
like
was that banana
old school.
one?
Yeah, the banana seats.
Is
and
that still
Yeah.
the bars that come up like? Is that still popular?
I don't know.
I love
I
that.
don't know.
I would like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes the seats are too skinny.
Yep.
So there is, believe it or not, you can get a fat seat, and you can get it and have it just put on your bike because,
It's more
frankly,
comfortable.
those aren't too healthy
Yeah.
for either males or females. They're skinny, and it can hurt.
Yeah.
Tell us again how they can get your book, Rachel.
So Ripple is on Amazon, either under Ripple or Rachel Odell Howe. You would find it. It's also available through my website, which is rachelodellhowe.com, and through my Facebook site, which is Rachel Odell Howe author on Facebook.
Now I notice, is that your maiden name?
It is my maiden name, and the reason I did that is because there's another Rachel Howe who writes fitness books on Amazon, and so I wanted to try to differentiate myself a little bit because people who know me know my fitness background, and I wanted to make sure it stood out differently.
The cover, it's so simple. I hate it when people make too complicated.
I'm really glad you like it.
Well, I love blue.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But I love it, and then of course the title, Ripple. You think, what is she talking about?
Mm.
Is it a mystery? The ripple effect, obviously, when you're going to read it. Now, the next cover you plan on doing yourself too, right? I
Yes.
hope, because you're talented.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, the next one, is it going to look anything like this?
I haven't even gotten to that
Oh,
point
she's
yet. I have to get the story done first.
Do you think it might be done by summer?
No, I'm going to start it. My goal is to start it this month.
Yeah.
And so, it's going to take some time.
It's going to take
It's going to take some
Well,
time.
no,
I
don't
want it to
make
be
it too
right.
long.
I want it to be right.
Don't take too long, because once you get people interested, a really good author, once somebody is gets interested in your writing, let me tell you, that's why I'm one of those people. When's the next one? We have we call him our resident whodunit. He's a wonderful, in his 80s, a mystery author.
Good for him.
Yeah, oh gosh, he used to be a journalist up in Minnesota.
Yep.
And he has been on many times, and he just keeps on coming with all these mystery.
He just keeps getting ideas, huh?
One
Good
right
for
after-
him.
Well, he has two characters, journalist and a photographer for a newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
And they get into the craziest mysteries, whodunits, thrillers. He's amazing. He just keeps pumping them right out. And I bet you once you get going, you're going to be doing that.
Yeah. Well,
I think so.
it was really fun. It was a really fun process for me. It was something I never anticipated doing, and it was harder than I thought in a lot of ways, but it was also very rewarding.
Yeah, you've got what it takes, my friend. So
Oh,
everybody,
thank you.
Rachel Odell Howe, grab a copy of Ripple. Okay, is it over at Tapnook yet?
It is not yet, but I did contact them, so I'm going to try to plan a
Right, I
signing
do.
over
I
there.
know the event planner. Okay.
Okay, great.
So yeah, definitely get over there, because it's a lovely setting, and there's a great big. You've been in there, right?
Yes, it's
big room in
beautiful.
the back.
Yeah.
Right. If you some authors are very shy when they start, and they just can set up a little table for you near the
Yeah.
front. Then you don't have to make a speech. I recommend get in there and talk. But you'd be good at that, right? You'd be really good. Okay. Well, I can't wait to have you back on again.
All right.
Thanks
you
for
so
being
much.
with us.
Thank you so much.
All right. See you
All
next
right.
time. I'll be my
Bye.
guest.